All right. Game people across all of YouTube. Let's talk about this week, the news that happened, speculations, rumors, leaks. We have it all. We had the last showcases of Summer Game Fest. We have Final Fantasy 16 that's apparently out there in the wild, not just in demo form. We had tons of crazy things that happened this week in gaming. But first, let's get into Nintendo. Nintendo was one of the people missing from this Summer Game Fest. It feels like Nintendo's kind of presence within the summer is slowly slipping away. Last year, we didn't really get the big Nintendo themselves presentation. We got in Nintendo Indie World, we got a Nintendo Mini Direct. We had a lot of Nintendo showcases and a lot of Nintendo announcements via Twitter last year, but no actual showcase. So this year, it's been pretty much the conversation again that Nintendo isn't here, Nintendo isn't doing a showcase, and a lot of us kind of accepted that, I think. But Nintendo Direct rumor territory is starting to rear its ugly head again. People are starting to talk. Nintendo might be having a showcase at the end of June. Some people saying July. There's definitely just a lot of Nintendo Direct rumors, leaks, etc. being thrown out there into the sphere, into the world of gaming. And I don't know if I 100% believe that a Nintendo Direct is going to show up sometime this week, sometime next week, whatever. I wouldn't rule it out of possibility. I think it would be smart for Nintendo to have a Direct, especially now that all the other showcases are done. We've already seen everyone else's hand. It would be kind of smart for Nintendo to kind of remind everybody the stuff that is coming to their platform. I would say, however, if a Nintendo Direct was to show up, let's say next week or the week after, I don't think it's going to be the Direct that some people are hyping it up to be. Some people are hyping up the fact that Nintendo might show off some big crazy games or something, and I just don't think Nintendo is in that position right now. I don't think they really want to. They're really just kind of doubling down on Tears of the Kingdom. So I don't think that Nintendo is really going to be doing a big showcase if they do one. If anything, we might get like a 10-15 minute like mini direct where or like a partner showcase, something from just like the third parties to really remind people that Nintendo Switch, is around, it exists. And again, I wouldn't expect a full-on direct from Nintendo at this point. Now, all that is speculation and rumors, and that's just kind of something that people think might happen. Something that is definitely going to happen, though, is the Game Boy Advance application on NSO is getting its next entry, is getting its next update, and I am freaking hyped for this one. Fire Emblem is coming to Game Boy Advance June 23rd. This is the first Fire Emblem game that I ever played, like a lot of people. This is the first Fire Emblem game that came out to the West. It is just an amazing strategy RPG. If you guys have never checked out the original Fire Emblem on Game Boy Advance, it is just a phenomenal game, and I can't wait to just play through it again. I'm very hyped for this one. Again, coming out June 23rd on the Game Boy Advance application. Speaking of updates, a game that released last year got a very unexpected release update. So it got updated June 11th. The game in question is Triangle Strategy. Triangle Strategy is a strategy RPG released by Square Enix last year. It has like that HD 2D art style that Square Enix is kind of becoming really known for, very popular for. And they did an unexpected update that added a character story replay feature. It also added a story battle replay feature. And then most notably, it added extra chapters to kind of like add an ending, more of a complete ending to Triangle Strategy. It added like an epilogue. And I haven't checked it out yet. I did love Triangle Strategy last year. I love the story. I love the strategy, gameplay of it all. I am definitely planning on checking out this epilogue and just kind of seeing what it's about. But again, it was just kind of really surprising. I didn't expect anything more from Triangle Strategy after Square Enix kind of, released it and ended it. But I'm very excited to have this. Moving away from Nintendo and onto PlayStation, PlayStation did announce their games coming to PlayStation Plus Extra and Premium tiers for the month of June. So as of June 20th, they are releasing an additional 28 games to the service, which is a lot of games. I'm not going to go through all of them. You guys could do that on your own if you want. The games that I thought were the most interesting though was Inscription, Far Cry 6, and Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Shredder's Revenge. Alright, so the kind of headliner game is Far Cry 6. This is a pretty cool entry into Far Cry. I'm not a big Far Cry fan myself, so I didn't really gravitate towards this one specifically, but I know a lot of people will. The game that got me really excited to play was Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Shredder's Revenge. I am a big fan of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. I'm a big fan of beat 'em ups. I loved like the old school Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle beat 'em ups. And this is a game that was highly praised last year for being one of the good, really good beat 'em ups that are kind of new entries, like similar to like Streets of Rage 4 or like River City Girls. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Shredder's Revenge has been on my list for a while, and I'm excited to check it out. Something that kind of spurred a little bit of conversation within the gaming community as far as like these kind of subscription services is whether or not PlayStation would kind of copy the whole Game Pass method. Well, an interview with GameIndustry.biz where they had with Nick McGuire, who's the head of Sony PlayStation's subscription services, kind of shut down that whole idea, that whole narrative. So he kind of doubled down on the fact that they're very confident in the strategy that they're doing moving forward with their subscription service, where they release their first party games initially at the $70 price point, and then somewhere else down the line they'll add it into the subscription service. But it's definitely, they're doubling down on the fact that these games will not be day and date on the subscription service. That they're very confident in this strategy that they're doing. Overall, I agree with them. I think that with the strategy they have works specifically for Sony PlayStation's business model, and overall, I think it kind of re-drums up hype for games after release. Sony games are notorious for releasing to really big high praise. They're released to big high sales, but then kind of taper off very quickly and then kind of get not forgotten, but don't really have long tails in sales. So this is a really cool strategy to kind of just keep people hyped in not just the games themselves, but in the subscription services. Something else that was really cool that came out of this interview was the fact that they did mention PlayStation is doubling down on like the whole streaming side of everything. They did say that people who are subscribed to the PlayStation Premium tier will be able to stream games from their game catalog, stream game trials, as well as stream games that they own digitally. So that's really cool as far as like people who don't want to like keep erasing games and downloading them again, or people who just want to like kind of dip their toes into a game. They can just stream it real quick, see if they like it, and then invest more into like actually downloading the game. So I'm pretty cool for that as someone who is subscribed to PlayStation Premium tier. Square Enix has had kind of a really good week this week. Final Fantasy 16 had its demo and people are just overwhelmed. They're ecstatic about this. Glowing reviews for the demo in general. There has been like some kind of controversy within the frame rates, but overall the demo itself was received very well within the community. One thing that isn't really great for Sony right now is the fact that Final Fantasy 16 has seemed to actually release now illegally. Somebody has their hands on it. They've been playing it. Spoilers have been going out there into the wild. So just be very cautious. If you're someone who doesn't like being spoiled, kind of steer away from Final Fantasy 16 news, at least until the game actually releases. I'm actually pretty worried about this. This is a game I do not want spoiled for me, as there's a lot of cinematics and story things that I want to experience myself. Another thing that also leaked was the fact that Square Enix is working on a remake or a remaster, something of that kind of redoing something with Star Ocean, the second story. Star Ocean, the second story is one of Star Ocean's most notable high-end titles, entries into that franchise. I personally never played a Star Ocean game, so this doesn't really do anything for me. But I know a lot of like deep fans of Star Ocean are pretty excited for this one. Or if you're just a fan of like RPGs in general, This is definitely something to keep on your watch list. I know the First Departure R was one of the really good remakes or remasters of the Star Ocean franchise, so it seems like they're gonna do it again, and hopefully this one gets received just as well. Hideo Kojima is someone who is known for having ties within Hollywood, being friends with celebrities and stuff like that, and vice versa, celebrities being fans of his work. So it was really cool to see what Hideo Kojima's socials. He posted up pictures with Nicolas Cage visiting Kojima Studios. They gave him a tour, etc., stuff like that. So it's really cool to see Nicolas Cage with Hideo Kojima. I am personally a fan of Nicolas Cage's work, as crazy as he is. Something that got a lot of people pretty excited was that the fact that Hideo Kojima is someone who's known for putting these celebrities into his games with the likeness and everything. So a lot of people were pretty much saying or thinking that Nicolas Cage is probably going to show up in something Hideo Kojima sometime soon, with most people kind of pointing at Death Stranding 2 being like the most likely possibility. I don't know. I don't really play Death Stranding. I'm not like a big fan of personally Hideo Kojima's games, but it is cool to see that Hideo Kojima has ties with these people, and it's probably going to be most likely that yeah, Nicolas Cage is going to show up in one of his works somewhere down the road. Xbox has had a hell of a roller coaster ride this year, and this week has looked very fondly on Xbox. Well, the Xbox good news isn't ending. The gravy train just keeps on a rolling with them. They did announce the fact that Season 4 is dropping June 20th, and along with Season 4 is coming the highly anticipated Infection Mode. I never played Infection Mode in Halo before. Again, my Halo journey kind of ended with Halo 3. I played a little bit of Halo Reach, but really Halo 3 was the last game that I played like hardcore. So this does nothing for me. What I am excited to see is the people who do support Halo Infinite currently, and even just the fact that it looks like Microsoft is not giving up on Halo Infinite. They're going to keep pushing this until this game is in a state that everyone is happy with. And if you're someone who is currently playing Halo Infinite, I know you're excited just to get more modes, more maps, more whatever, just to see that your favorite game is kind of just getting updated is a good thing to see, and I'm excited for fans of the franchise. In a recent interview with Xbox Game Studio chief Matt Booty, he did confirm that the company is done developing first-party games for the older Xbox One console. He pretty much said that we're moving away from Xbox One and we're all thinking about current gen right now. Xbox Series S and X is where it's at. And personally, I'm very excited for this. I don't mind. I don't hate the whole like cross-gen game development thing. I do think that this generation has run on a little longer than expected. Matt Booty also said, mentioned this, that the cross-generation has ran a little bit longer than expected, longer than past generations. I am a firm believer that this whole cross-gen thing does hold back the potential for games being developed on current-gen consoles. So I'm excited to see that they're finally done with it. If you're someone who's been a little late to transition to current gen, I'm sorry. It's going to be time if you want to keep gaming. But as someone who is currently on current gen, I'm excited to see these companies just move on to what some of us kind of invested, some of us paid money down for. So I want to see what the full power potential of these current gen hardware can do. The development team at Motion Twin Studios just announced an animated series based on their game Dead Cells is set to release in 2024, following the trend of these video game adaptations into other media. I'm pretty excited for this as someone who casually likes Dead Cells. I do think that it lends itself well to an animated series. It is being developed by Bobby Pills. The studio behind the animated trailers and like the cutscenes are ready for the game. So I think it's in safe hands, and it's going to follow along the story of Dead Cells. So, I feel like this is just going to be another way for people to experience this game without actually playing the game. So I'm pretty excited for that one. Alright, I want to end things off with the last kind of big showcases of the Summer Game Fest era, and this was like the Ubisoft Forward and the Capcom Showcase. So starting off with Ubisoft Forward, I think we saw a lot of really cool games. I hated the way they were presented. I feel like a lot of the presenters and the speakers were a little too scripted. that one guy who came out there to kind of hype up the anime for Blood Dragon X Remix, whatever, Super Explosion, was kind of a little too try hard in my opinion. Some of the laughs feel a little forced. It was really cringy, but overall the actual game trailers were freaking awesome. I'm not a big fan of Avatar. That is like a series, as an IP, as a franchise, but that game's world looks just stunning. And the developer behind it, she seemed very excited. She seemed very confident in her work. She seemed like she really does believe in Avatar as a brand. So I'm really excited for that. I think the best works when it comes to these kind of cross media thing is when it's being developed by a fan of the other media. So she does seem to be a fan. So I feel like it does have a lot of potential. We got more in-depth look into like the new Prince of Persia game, The Lost Crown, that's coming out. Very excited for all that. The gameplay looks really great. Assassin's Creed had like a lot of, Assassin's Creed is like the Ubisoft IP right now. We got to look into VR with it. We got to look into mobile, as well as a deeper look into Assassin's Creed Mirage. And this game looks like what you want it to do. It is doing OG Assassin's Creed. It's definitely giving me like original Assassin's Creed 2 vibes. And that's the way I like my Assassin to Creed. That is the type of game that I like, and I'm pretty excited for that one. As well as we got a deeper look into their Star Wars Rebel game that's coming out. It looks really good. As a Star Wars fan, I'm very excited for it. I did hear some pushback, as some people saying the gameplay trailer looked a little too scripted, but overall, I think that's the kind of the best way to showcase these trailers, especially early on. If you don't have it too scripted, I think it kind of ventures off into like the not so good looking parts of the game. I think we saw that with like Sonic Frontiers, where it was just really showing off some weird stuff in the game. So I'm really excited for overall what Ubisoft is doing moving into 2024 and beyond. And then we had Capcom, which I'm gonna be honest, I don't think Capcom really needed a showcase this year. I feel like all their like presentations probably could have been sprinkled in throughout the other events, which they kind of pretty much were. We kind of just really just got updates on a lot of things. Some new things were announced, some more details. Nothing really crazy. I think overall the reception with the Capcom Showcase was a little bit of a stinker. But I think we all give Capcom a pass because even though their showcases aren't really the best, their games are phenomenal. So if their focus is on making the best games and their showcases are just a way to update people, I'm for it. I personally didn't watch this Capcom Showcase. I just kind of watched the trailers afterwards. And yeah, I mean, the games are great. Ghost Trick looks cool. They have a new Mega Man game kind of in the works. They mentioned their like website that has like their celebration, Capcom Town, whatever. It's not for me, but it's cool. Overall, I think Capcom is in a really safe place right now. They've garnered a lot of goodwill within the community, and I want Capcom just, hey, focus on what you guys are doing. If it means we get this shitty showcases, I don't give a damn because the games are freaking awesome. So Capcom, just keep it up, man. Alright, so that ends this video. That ends all the crazy stuff that happened this week. If you guys like this type of content, do me a favor, consider subscribing. Check out some of our other content. We do a video like this every Friday just to kind of round up everything that kind of happened that's really cool this week. If you guys enjoyed this video, remember to like the video. If you guys hated it, dislike it. Let me know what you guys think down below. With that, I'll catch you guys on the next video.